Hello everybody, welcome back. If you just watched my last video, welcome. We are now going to be watching the Emergence dev stream and react to kind of everything they talk about and chat about the new season. Bear in mind as well, I'm a little under the weather. I'm not feeling the greatest today. So take everything I say with a grain of salt, but I'm really excited to get into this. I'm very excited for the season. I don't think I'm as excited for this season as I was for last season, just specifically because of Valk, because I loved her so much. But I'm really pumped for the map changes on World's Edge, and they're finally doing something about the areas that I hate on the map. So we talked about that before. If you'd like to see any of the other reaction videos I did to this season, you can check down in the description. Those will all be linked for you there. Without further ado, let's get into it. Let's watch the dev stream together, shall we? So real quick, guys, I'm not going to watch the entire dev stream here in the video. I'm just going to kind of cut to the bits and pieces that I think are going to be important. If you'd like to watch the entire dev stream, you can go ahead and do so. I will leave that link down in the description for you as well. I'm kind of going through this and I was like, oh, this is a 22-minute video. Let's not do a reaction on the whole thing. Let's just watch the video and I'll give my kind of points and we'll move from there.
Yeah, so obviously very exciting to reveal Seer to the world. Been working on him for quite a while now, and he's gone through a lot of different iterations along the way. Give a bit of context for how he works. His passive is Heart Seeker, which is a heartbeat sensor that lets him visualize enemy locations and hear their heartbeats nearby.
Actually, like
so
that.
You can kind of, be in the area and scanning around, trying to pinpoint where enemies are.
It doesn't seem like it's super overpowered,
like
but
with Bloodhound. His tactical is called Focus of Attention. So he's got this heart chamber.
What I want to know about his passive is if it happens if you don't have a sight.
A whole bunch of them in a line, and then after a short delay, they'll kind of collapse and scan and interrupt anyone in there. So kind of a bit of a spicy ability there where we're letting you interrupt things that are in progress, be it a player being revived or using a shield battery or Phoenix kit. So I'm sure that will generate a lot of feedback coming our way. You can actually know exactly if someone is one shot or not because they'll have their health bars above them for the duration of the reveal.
You said the thing.
Reveal in the game, I guess.
When
drone that you don't shoot out of the sky. So
one of my buddies is notorious for doing that.
For 8 seconds. So
he's won. He's won. I mean, he's got like 50 health.
And hit them with your tactical, then your team can go in for the push. Okay, and then for Seer's ultimate, it is called Exhibit, and that's where he takes that heart chamber that has all those micro drones and throws it out into the world, creates this big sphere of the micro drones that then detect enemies inside, but it only detects enemies if they're moving fast or shooting a weapon. So if you're on the receiving end of it and Seer throws this out at you, you can stop moving and then he won't know where you are. You can shoot the
that's good
in the center of it, and it'll actually
it has some sort of counter, but
block as well to kind of move around in there and conceal your movements.
If he knows you're in there,
and a lot of it,
still hear your heartbeat.
I'd say between the ultimate and the passive is kind of figuring out where people are, and then really nailing them with that tactical, because that's really if you're able to land it on someone, it's go time.
So when Seer is using his tactical and his ultimate especially, and revealing enemies, is he the only one that can see that, or is he also revealing enemies for his teammates as well?
Yeah, no, he's revealing them for his team, so he's a team player.
Okay, cool. I was kind of concerned about that, honestly.
Class that we have of
totally, yeah.
Yeah, it's
but
very cool.
In the Battle Pass trailer, you could plainly see that.
Communicating like they're low on health, or their shields are gone. So man, that was one of the first things I saw in the vignette video. Where I was like, "There's a health bar when they're coming down the stairs." It's pretty wild to see. It's very, very cool. Really excited for players to get his hands on him. He's really, really interesting and such a great personality. And he's an artist, and so there's a performance to his work that he does as well. So as usual, delivering on the gameplay, but also just a really.
Whenever I hear performance and art
really knocked out of the park
in a character, in a game, I think of Jin from League.
Really fantastic, really unique and beautiful.
I wonder if there was any sort of inspiration between the two.
More additions that are coming with this next season. One I'm particularly very excited about. I love it when new weapons come into the game. There's a lot of cool weapon stuff.
Precursor, GameSpot last week posted an article with all of the potential updates for the guns and stuff. So I'm kind of basing my judgment off of that. I have heard some of these already. I'm just kind of confirming that they're correct. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll confirm or deny some of those changes. I know that there's a couple of them that I'm looking forward to, specifically the Prowler, but we'll see what they say and if that was actually correct or not.
So this is the first weapon I've worked on that's shipping in Apex, so I'm super excited to show it off and get it in people's hands and see what they think about it. It's called the Rampage LMG. It's a heavy ammo LMG. The difference between this one and the Spitfire is it's
a sleeping cat in the back. I just
high damage
noticed.
LMG. So that's kind of where it sets itself apart. This gun's really going to excel at the mid-range distance, and once it gets close, because of the slow fire rate, it's going to have a bit of a harder time. But when you do hit those shots, like I said, it's very powerful and very devastating. The other big cool mechanic about this is it has a charge mechanic very similar to the Sentinel, but instead of using the cells, it uses a thermite grenade. So you load a thermite
Thermites are
grenade
going to be
into
impossible
it,
to find now.
time, and then once it's charged up, it's going to we're calling it revved up, and when it's revved up, it increases the fire rate. So it's got that versatility where it's really good mid-range without it being charged, and then when you charge, now maybe
the very
close
cute cat
range is a
back
little
there.
more of an option for you. And there's kind of a cool little backstory. Like usually we don't have a whole lot of lore with guns. We do have, certain gun makers. But with this one, it's an LMG. So we thought it'd be really cool if this was a Rampart made gun. So this is our first kind of gun she's created and manufactured for the games, aside from Sheila. Sheila's the only gun that she's really made for, and that was just for herself.
I like
she does
that.
mods, so there are other Rampart mods out there, but this is her first real created gun from the ground up. So first thing we're doing, I'll talk about the hop-up rotation. So we're gonna get rid of the anvil receiver, which I know some people are not gonna be happy about. But the 301.
You think about it, like I don't really use it too much.
They're very strong without the anvil receiver. They're extremely strong with the anvil receiver.
That is also true.
We have marksman rifles now. We have the G7 Scout. We have the 30-30. We have the longbow. We have guns that fit that fantasy. So if you want a marksman rifle, use the marksman rifles.
Really cool to see that hop up on maybe the 30-30.
The next thing we're removing is the quick draw
or the G Scout.
It's just not a very useful pop up. People don't tend to like it, and what we're doing to compensate for that though is we're just going to include some of the perks that the quick draw has already into pistols. So it's not going to be quite as good as the quick draw, but they will be, a little bit faster to holster and raise. So we're just integrating. So the new hop up that we're adding is called the boosted loader, and that's going to go onto the Hemlock and the Wingman. So what this hop up does is it basically has like a near empty state when you reload. We already have that in the game. You'll see a little pop up saying like reload. So if you reload when you're in that near empty state, it's going to give you a faster reload, and then you're going to get an overloaded ammo clip. So you get a little bit of bonus ammo on your clip. So if you can kind of keep that cadence going where you almost empty your clip,
great for Wingman
reload,
players.
You'll get some bonus ammo, and then it's kind of like a nice little timing game. So the cool thing there too, we have some nice UI to reinforce that. So there's a little bar that comes up on your screen when you're ADSing, and it has the little sweet spot that you want to try to aim to.
Cool.
So we're kind of using this almost like a shooting trainer. So for people who like to shoot to reload, maybe this will teach you to be a little bit.
I'm one of those people.
Shooting.
I'm constantly reloading
so
my guns.
It for hop-ups. Now I'll get on to the crate changes, which I know everybody wants to see what we're going to create and uncrate. This is going to be spicy for sure. First uncrating, we're going to take the Prowler out of the crate.
Yay! I was right.
But it's only going to be burst mode. So we're not going to include the select fire hop-up. So no auto fire Prowler on the ground. So
I knew it was coming, but it just hurts actually hearing it. What really sucks is that like with Apex and how they've been treating the care packages has been kind of driving me nuts, because once I adjust to a gun and I'm like, yeah, this is great, this is the gun I like, I'm working with it, it's going great this season, they take it away from me and put it in the care packages. It happened with the Peacekeeper, the 99, the Prowler, and the Triple Take. I'm very sad about this. And they were all weapons I mained, but I'm glad to have the Prowler back. I have 3 out of the 4 weapons back on the floor, but in a modified state. So, I mean, it's just the way that, like, these games evolve. But at the same time, I'm still happy to have the Prowler back. I'm cooled in burst mode. I absolutely hate the Hemlock. I can't use the Hemlock. So I think that this will still be great for me. It might be a good transition into actually using the Hemlock in more play. But if I have to choose over a Hemlock or a Flatline, I'm going to pick a Flatline any day. So That's just where I am.
We did a small tweak between bursts. That's the only kind of nerf we did to it, but it's basically what was in the crate.
One eternity later.
Okay, sorry about that. We're gonna go back a little bit here to the Spitfire thing, which that is also correct in the basis of what I was reading, which I am not surprised. I even said like mid-season, take the Prowler out, give me the Spitfire, or put the Spitfire in. I'm just sad that there's no full auto because I feel like that's a good, comparison. But at the same time, if you think about it, the care packages are now very well rounded if they put the other gun in that they're supposed to put in. So we'll kind of talk about that when it gets to it.
It's going to be the pre-nerf Spitfire. So basically, we nerfed it throughout the last season. So for this season, it's going back in. So it'll have the increased damage that it was before, it'll have the larger mag size that it did before. And then the last gun, so we're actually adding 2 guns into the crate this season, is we're going to add the alternator into the crate, which I know doesn't sound like it's strong enough to be a crate weapon on its own. So what we're going to do is we're going to include the disruptor rounds on it, which I know people are going to be very scared of. But it is a crate weapon, so there's not going to be as many out there as there were before. This is a modified disruptor round, so it's not quite as strong as they were in that scary season where everybody hated the disruptor rounds. So it's
So anybody who didn't play season 2, disruptor rounds were like the best thing and the worst thing to ever happen with Apex. It was great because like you could just mow down teams, and I'm glad that they modified it slightly. I missed it so much. Like even just the noise it makes is so satisfying. I played nothing but disruptor rounds in season 2. Absolutely nothing but. Holy heck. I'm so happy this is back. I thought this would never come back ever again. And now we can kind of talk about the balance of the care packages. So now in the care packages, we have a marksman weapon, we have a sniper, we have technically I don't know if this is technically considered a pistol. I think it's considered an SMG and an LMG. So the only thing we're technically missing is a pistol and a shotgun. So the care packages are fairly well rounded as far as like the guns that you would get out of them. So there's something for everybody now instead of just like a sniper or a shotgun, how it was in the first couple of seasons. And then it was a slightly more powerful shotgun, and then it was the Prowler, which I felt like no one picked up but me. But it could also have been because I hogged it because I love the Prowler. And then the triple take, which is technically now a marksman weapon and not a sniper. So you have 2 weapons for people that enjoy more long range encounters, and then people who enjoy close to medium range encounters. So I think it's fairly well balanced. I think they did a good job at balancing the care packages this season. It's a bit nicer on shields than it was before, he said.
Another big change we're doing is to the L-Star. We know the L-Star is very strong in arenas, but it's not a very strong BR gun. And one of its fallbacks is it doesn't have a great loot chase. It basically only has the 2 things to add to your gun. So what we're adding is we're adding mags and we're adding barrels to the L-Star. And cool. So the mags are going to make it so that you can shoot more before you overheat, and it's also going to make it so that it cools down a bit faster. And then the barrels will be standard. And then the other cool thing we're doing is we're actually reducing the size of the VFX on the projectiles, because that's one of the big complaints of the L-Star is it's just hard to see when you're shooting, but it's also hard to see when you're being shot at. So,
and that gun produces fireworks when you fire it. Like it's so hard to see where you're aiming, especially because the recoil pattern is so specific that you can't really tell what's going on when the muzzle flash is so bright. It's literally like staring into a firework, but I'm just glad that the change finally came.
And then we're doing a little bit of a nerf to the EVA 8. It's very popular, very
good.
Strong right now.
It needs it.
What we're basically nerfing is the fire rate on the bolts. So each level will have a bit of a reduced fire rate, because when you got to purple on the EVA 8, it was pretty nutty. It was shooting really fast. That was a buff we did, but we just brought it down a little bit. And then the last kind of interesting change we're doing is we're moving the reload speed increase off mags, and we're putting that onto stocks. And then the other thing we're doing is we're taking tactical stocks off marksman rifles and we're making them sniper stocks.
I don't think that it technically like does anything else as far as like stabilization on your shots, which I guess is good. It's more so for reload speed now, which I kind of like that, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know how this is going to play out in the meta and how this is going to change the way our guns feel. I just feel like it's going to be a weird adjustment. So if that is all the changes that they're making to the guns and the weapon meta, so that's literally everything that was on the GameSpot article. So they were absolutely correct. So good to know. Great. I'm excited for this season for the gun meta. I think it's going to be really fun. I'm less excited about Seer, but I'm very excited about the map changes in the gun meta. So the other part of this is the World's Edge update, which I did a video on, but I don't think I uploaded. Hi guys, Future Allison here. I'm actually editing this video. It's a couple hours later. But I realized that the dev stream never talked about the changes to the characters. So we're going to just quickly run by that right now. And then I'll show you some pictures from the World's Edge map updates as well. So air package changes apply to arenas. The Prowler and Rampage will place the alternator in the Spitfire in the arena shop. So this is how much you need in order to buy them. If you are playing arena, buy them in the shop. And then the price adjustments, obviously, for the L-Star, thank God, because it was too low for the L-Star. The repeater's a little bit lower, the bow's a little bit lower, the charge rifle is a bit lower, except at the higher levels. So, okay, so here is where we want. So Fuse is getting a buff. Enemies caught inside the ring of fire from Fuse's motherlode now are revealed to Fuse and the teammates, which is kind of cool. So you got to figure out where people are because it is kind of hard to see inside of that. Well, I wish they would have done something else to the motherlode, maybe made it bigger or a different pattern. I feel like it might have been good, but you know, we'll take it. Maybe this will make it a bit more viable. The Knuckle Cluster Tactical Explosion is increased by 100%, so it now lasts twice as long. A Grenadier passive can be toggled on and off, so you can throw an ordnance normally if you really want to. I don't think you're ever going to want to, but just in case. Horizon reduced the slow after the black hole pull, so I guess that's kind of a nerf. Bumped the Horizon gravity lift speed up to a happy medium between 9.1 and legacy launch values. So it's slightly faster. It's right in that nice fancy middle ground. But we lost the initial slow on the black hole pull, which is okay. Rev, there's now an audio and visual cue when Death Totem protection is about to end, which can be seen and heard to other players. And then there's a brief slow to being recalled by Death Totem. That's fine. I think Rev needed a little bit more than that, but, you know, I guess we'll see how this goes. Caustic, gas damage starts at 5, increases by 1 by every other tick indefinitely. So, Caustic is getting his buff. The cooldown on Tactical has gone to 20 seconds instead of 25. Ultimate cooldown has been reduced from 3.5 minutes to 3 minutes. And the duration reduced from 20 to 15 seconds. So, you'll get it faster, but it won't last as long. So, and then I'm pretty sure that's about it for everything that the dev stream didn't really cover. And then here is some of the updates to World's Edge. I originally wasn't going to talk about it, but because I went to the website and Googled some stuff for you guys to see on the actual like character changes, we'll just go through this now too. So Climatizer is now where Refinery was. So this is the big comparison here. It looks really cool. It's going to be a cool location. So now the lava, instead of being like it is in Fragment, where you can fall in it and you get floated back to the top, now, I don't know if there's still like a ravine, but it's like how it is a thermal station where you can traverse it, but you take damage. You take tick damage. So it's better, maybe? I don't know. I don't know how far this like cascade thing is gonna go. Like, it still looks like there's a crater. Hopefully that our characters can, you know, climb back up it, but we'll see. The fissure extension, so the lava fissure that is in Fragment is now extended all the way to the edge of the map. So now we have gondolas as well. So in some of the new POIs, you have movable gondolas. Before we just had like the stationary gondolas where you had the zip line that connected the 2 points. Now there is one that actually moves, which is gonna make for some pretty interesting play points. So Lava Titan is one of our favorite drop locations here, Sorting Factory. It is kaput. It is gone. It's pretty exciting, though, because this gondola is here, and now you have these kind of bigger buildings. There's 3 larger style buildings, and the gondola goes from the far edge to the far edge. So it stops, it actually goes through this middle building here and goes all the way to the edge. So that's going to make for some pretty interesting last round fights. If your zone is stuck here specifically, it's going to make for some really cool gameplay. And then my favorite part, the best part, my opinion, Train Yard is gone. Thank God. Train Yard was the bane of my existence on World's Edge. I think that's a big reason why I hated this map. Other than that, like, when the map originally came out, there was too much space between things. Now, I feel like we have a lot more to work with. There's a lot more POIs to, like, pull people away from going to Fragment. It does say it changes the flow of the tunnel linking into Fragment, which I think is a big plus as well. So, and then the skybox has changed, of course. And then Overlook has a couple changes. So there's now a new path in between these 2 silos. So they took out a silo, and there is now a path here. They did some, excavating here. And then there's also a new rotation. So over here, by Fragment, how you used to have to go all the way around to this, like, first apex sign. I'm pointing like you guys can see what I'm pointing at. We're all the way around to this first apex sign here and go through the tunnel. And that was your first entry point to get to the other areas of the map without going through Fragment. Now you have this nice, neat little tunnel here. It goes between Geyser and Overlook. The rotation branches off from the initial central point of the cave tunnel and heads north. So it's a better version of that cave. So now there's 2 entry points, I guess, to that cave. We'll kind of find out, but exciting. Yeah, we got a lot of really cool map changes this season, so I'm really pumped to play. Hopefully it'll fix some of the rotational issues on World's Edge. All right, back to current time Allison. I am future Allison. I wasn't here. You didn't see me.
One eternity later.
Okay, so that was super quick and easy. Basically now they use like an MMR system. So you go through placement matches, they'll place you in a rank, and then you can kind of go up and down from there. You get points on wins and losses, and that is it. I don't play arenas all that much, so I don't think I'm gonna be really playing ranked arenas unless, like, maybe some friends want to play. I don't know, I guess we'll see how this system works. I didn't really know how they were going to do it in the first place, because you can have people who, get a win off of something and have like 15, 14 kills, and you can have somebody who's also riding that win and has no kills, so it makes sense that they're doing it this way instead of basing it off of kill count. I don't know. I guess we'll see how this plays out. I don't really have a big dead set opinion on this because I don't play arenas too much, so I guess we'll just see how this goes. And this is our first rank season, so I guess we'll see. All right, y'all, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please don't forget to subscribe. And tomorrow at some point, I don't know what time, because I just started a job and it's remote and I don't have a schedule yet. We're going to be playing Apex. I think at the earliest, we'll probably play around 6 p.m. We might play early in the afternoon. I don't know. I haven't figured that out yet. But at some point tomorrow, we will be playing the new season, so you can join me on Twitch, twitch.tv/AllisonBurbs. If for some random reason I'm not there, just know I am probably sick because I'm still not feeling well. So, all right, y'all. I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.